Let's see how the stream looks. There we go. Looking fine, as always. Once again, I decided to just not wait until the actual 8 o'clock, but here we are. I hit go live and it clicked over to 8. So I guess I'm doing it right. Hi, if you're watching, thanks for joining us. And if this is your first time, I hope you like it. And if it's not your first time, I'm going to take it as a sign that you do like it. So say hi in the chat. Let us know how the audio is, all that jazz. I'm a bit under the weather today, so might not have the same sort of pizzazz that I normally have. We'll see how it goes, though. I've got some Baja Blast, which I don't normally drink at all, but you feel under the weather, you eat all kinds of garbage. It's the only way. There's a very specific cookie that is only really available in my home area, and I can't get it here. Bums me right out. Anyway, so you'll notice along the bottom of your screen there all these stuff to help out the show. If you are so inclined to do that, there is a slight change. You'll see the Patreon is no longer /LowStrangeness. I have enhanced the Patreon, I suppose, to be more inclusive of all of my little projects, which are, painting. What the hell? Jesus Christ. The fucking painting on the wall behind me. Or music, or my writing, or anything. So the Patreon's for all that, including this. That's pretty much it. That's the news. Like, share, comment, sub, bell, all that good jazz. I hope you're doing great. It's almost Thanksgiving. I couldn't be more excited about it. But, you know what else I'm excited about? This weird week that we're about to get into. So let's grow down and we'll do the thing. Is that a good size for you? We'll jump right there. Let's get Chrome up. Oh, look at this beauty. Absolutely gorgeous. And let's get going. So, starting us out this week on Sunday. This didn't happen on Sunday, but it did pop up. And, I may have covered this earlier in the year on a previous show. I don't remember doing it. This is from March 11th, so quite a while ago. But last week we talked about, maybe it was 2 weeks ago, we talked about basically warp drives and how it's literally happening. But somebody pointed out in this article, and I'll see real quick if I can find it. I don't see it super quickly. Basically, somewhere in this fucking article, they suggest that time-space bubbles, as warp drives, work best on a disc-shaped craft. And it's not huge groundbreaking news, of course, and I know if you're watching this, you're probably going, yeah, fucking obviously. It's just cool to see that it's acknowledged. And like most things that I talk about on the show, it's just cool to know that we're not all lunatics. Not all. There are a few. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up. It's over on Futurism. There will be a link in the description if you want to read the article. It's a cool article. It's a little dated at this point, but it's cool. And moving on to stuff that actually happened this week. Former myth creature, now real. Okay, so this came up. It was in our cryptozoology. You'll notice I do a lot of Reddit stuff, and that's because I have a separate Reddit account just for LowStrangeness where I'm sub to as many tolerable paranormal subs as possible. If you want me to, I will write down all of those subs. If you also want to create a purely paranormal Reddit account. Anyway, so this guy used to be thought of as a myth. However, they've discovered it, and he is quite real. Let me see if I can find the article. I could have swore there was an article. And now I don't see it. Oh, well, we'll just read D. Buck Factory's comment here because he kind of goes over it. It wasn't once considered a myth so much as a species that is generally just hard to observe. It's not a mythical thing in the sense of stories being passed down from generations about some wild monster. It is mythical, as in it wasn't seen much since specimens were found in the 70s and finally a live caught salamander observed in the late 2000s. People knew it existed, but they're difficult to find because they're like muddy, turbid waters in the swamp, so they need to be observed and studied to be described as a new species of salamander. And you know, like this kind of thing happens pretty regularly. If we Googled right now, look at this cute little guy. Cryptozoology actually discovered. I'm really hoping my Google foo is decent. There we go. Yeah, 7 species that used to be cryptids. This is over Indiana University, Bloomington, so you know it's legitimate. No offense, guys. If you're going to Indiana U, I love you guys, of course, obviously. So yeah, Komodo dragon, the platypus, the okapi, which I've never heard of, but now I want one. The gorilla, apparently, the giant squid. These are all animals that at one point were considered mythical creatures. They were considered cryptids, and they're real. And this will happen from time to time, just like this little cool salamander guy. A few months back, I was talking a lot about dogmen. Dogmen, I'm still definitely on the fence. I've never observed one, and to be honest, I've never seen any really good, convincing evidence of one. I don't think dogmen will necessarily be a cryptid that eventually comes to light as being true, but who knows? Because some of them are true. Moving on, because I'm rambling because I don't feel well. On Monday, we had this pop up, hovering nightmare mass, which I believe I made the opening segment on the YouTube description. Apparently, this thing was caught by multiple people hovering and flying over West Hollywood on Monday. Holy Jesus hell. It was really eerie to me for all of 3 minutes. And if you're looking at this and you, for any longer than a couple seconds, you've probably already figured out what it is. It didn't take anybody very long. So we'll just scroll down here. And this is it. It is a mass of giant spider balloons all tied together. You can kind of see these 2 spots there. There it is. Pretty obvious. Cool looking. But pretty obvious. The thing with even if this was a craft, it doesn't fit any fucking description of a craft that I've ever seen in my life. Reports, I mean. It looks chaotic. It's weird, sure. But balloon strangeness. Oh man, is this a real subreddit? Funny party pieces, abusive birthday. What the hell is that about? Not interested. I'm not putting that on the list of subreddits. Anyway, that was the hovering nightmare mask. Moving on, light figure. I don't remember what this one was. If you're just joining us, say hi in the chat. All right, so any idea what this could be? This is from user OKAlternative5517. Photo taken roughly 3 years ago when my boyfriend and I were in Fern Canyon in California Redwoods. Took multiple photos in the same area and only showed in this one pic. No other people besides us. Now, obviously, we have to take that at face value, that there was no other people with them, because it certainly looks like there's somebody there. There's a reflection of them. It looks like somebody standing there. Is this pareidolia? Yeah, maybe. Is this overexposure? Yeah, probably. That's what this looks like. But there is something interesting in the comments. Let's see. So this is the same spot, but no light figure. All right, so this guy, I inverted the image in Pixlr and applied brightness and contrast elements. Okay, so it's been inverted and contrast applied. Again, we can pretty clearly see somebody there. And here it is zoomed in. I mean, my guess is not that this is a light being at all, but this is just somebody who was standing in the sunlight, and the photo's just oversaturated. It was overexposed. To me, yeah, that's what it looks like. I'm just scrolling to see if anybody else. It's a sunshine and hiker. Yeah, that's what I'm pretty certain that it has to be. As much as I would love to indulge and say it's a light being, it's not, it's fucking clearly not. It's overexposure. I don't mean to be such a party pooper. All right, then we get from singular14.com on Monday. Humanoid UFO recorded over Glasgow. So I said it was a Jetpack guy in the description, in the title of the video. But watching this video, which I'll play in a moment, it looks more like a weird TARDIS to me. But there's some little booties there, a little helmet. Let's see here.
Lindsay, come here. Lindsay. Yeah, could you turn the focus thing? I'm just trying to keep my hands. Just kind of adjust to see it. That's good. You've got it gone down. It's literally a UFO because it's unidentified. It's only there.
So it's interesting. It's very tall.
Yeah. This will be the best thing they've had since that guy put a love letters in the past down there.
So I noticed the stream is fucking up. I'm not sure what's going on with that, so I apologize. But yeah, so in the video, it's clearly like tall. It'd be very top heavy if it was a drone, I think, unless it's, if you look in the picture here, this is the drone and there's shit draped over the side, which is totally possible. I don't know. It's cool. And it's interesting that we're seeing so many Jetpack folks lately, usually around Catalina, but because this one was in Glasgow, it seems odd to me. Let's see. The witness said they were flying across the sky going from the northwest of Glasgow toward the southwest. No time or date for the sighting was included, although the Daily Record reported the object had been filmed a week prior to its release, placing the sighting somewhere near the end of October. Which, when it comes to anything in that time period, um, you really gotta take it with a grain of salt, because Halloween decorations, we covered that flying broom recently. People do weird shit on Halloween, and so it's hard to sort out what is true or accurate or even close to real, and not some sort of hoax or fake or whatever. All right, on Tuesday, the Black Vault. Oh yeah. So the Black Vault. Every UFO case sent to UAP Task Force considered entirely classified and exempt from disclosure. Fascinating and weird. So this is talking about basically all the stuff that the task force looked into. We know they were looking into it. We know there were cases, but we are not allowed to know anything further than that. John Greenwald at the Black Vault has requested all of this information, and they've stonewalled him for the most part. It's interesting, especially when we saw in the report over the summer that out of the 144 cases, 143 were unsolved. And we can't look at any of them, which is strange. Moving on to something semi-related, it looks like. Lou speaks out about canceling shit, hints at something big. So Lou Elizondo, who we know and love here, has been on a fucking storm, being on every podcast or show or basically everywhere for months and months and months and months. And lately he's been kind of slowing down, pulling out a little bit. So on Tuesday, he tweeted this: "Friends, thank you for your generous outpouring of support and concern for my welfare and my health. Please know it's always quietest before the storm. I have taken a strategic pause in preparation of a major assault. All is quiet on the Western Front." So what is he saying there? What is he hinting at? Always quietest before the storm, preparation of a major assault. Does this indicate just more talk shows or podcast interviews? Or are we potentially looking at hard evidence? I really, really, really hope that it's hard evidence. I really, 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 really hope that he has decided to open up about some of his more cryptic things. We'll see. But he also spoke to GQ recently. Yeah, I accept whatever. This GQ article, you're not going to learn a bunch of crazy new stuff. It's cool. I don't know. I thought it was interesting. It's just Lou being Lou. He does, however, talk about radiation burns on pilots, space-time warping. There are a couple of really good nuggets in the article. Let me see if we can just quickly find something. Okay, so GQ asks, the proposed new UAP office would have to report on health-related effects for individuals who have experienced UAPs. What kind of thing might happen if you are near one? Lou replies, in classic cryptic Lou fashion, a lot. Let me give you a notional. I've got to be careful I can't speak too specifically, but one might imagine that you get a report from a pilot who says, Lou, it's really weird. I was flying, I got close to this thing, I came back home, and it was like I got a sunburn, and I was red for 4 days. Well, that's a sign of radiation. That's not a sunburn, it's a radiation burn. Then a pilot might say, if they got a little closer, Lou, I'm at the hospital, I've got symptoms that are indicative of microwave damage, meaning internal injuries, and even in my brain there's some morphology there. And then you might get somebody who gets really close and says, you know, Lou, it's really bizarre. It felt like I was there for only 5 minutes, but when I looked at my watch, 30 minutes went by. but I only used 5 minutes worth of fuel. How is that possible? Well, there's a reason for that, we believe, and it probably has to do with the warping of space-time. And the closer you get to one of these vehicles, the more you begin to experience space-time relative to the vehicle and the environment, which I do think is important to talk about. We are publicly talking about us creating the same technology right now. We just covered it on the Sunday portion. A good piece of advice that I once heard was that if we're hearing about it, it's been around for at least a decade. And honestly, probably much, much longer. So, I don't know. I think what Lou's talking about is incredible. I think it's definitely important and worth paying attention to, but I also think the timing of it, especially with everything going on right now, is I think even the most hardcore believers need to be ready to accept something that is not in line with what they think is going on. Lou has been very open about humankind and interdimensionality. You know what I'm trying to say. Listen, I've got Baja Blast. I'm a little sick, all right? Anyway, he said some very weird and cryptic things, but I also think that maybe things are a lot more terrestrial than people want them to be. I hope not. Anyway, moving on. Wednesday, you can go right on over to learnpowers.com and learn telekinesis. Our guide on telekinesis training, the ability to manipulate matter. You know, moving shit around. At first I laughed at this, and I read through a bunch of this. There's just some really good advice in here, basically. Meditate a lot, which we should be doing anyway. And put your intentions in there, a little bit of chaos magic, and then do some actual exercises. But yeah, just head on over to learnpowers.com. They didn't sponsor this, I promise you. I am broke as shit. Yeah, you can just head on. I haven't browsed the rest of the website to see what other powers I can learn. Let's see. Omnikinesis, manipulate everything. Wow. I'm going to learn all of these. Is this the whole thing? Guide to planetary magic. Umbra kinesis, learn the ability to manipulate darkness. Maybe that's the one I want to learn. I don't know. Should we do like a magic fucking psychic power club where, we'll check back in a month and see how everybody's doing on their hydrokinesis lessons? Wild. I'm like half joking because I do want to actually give it a shot. But anyway, also on Wednesday, the truth has... All right, the whole fucking thing is weird. So on Wednesday, we had a French UFO event. Nothing as huge as Mage, which I'm going to keep bringing up. It would be interesting if my video got taken down because I talk about Mage over and over. I don't know what that says. So, a bunch of people across France saw this in the sky. Moving right along. I've got video and everything too, so don't you worry. Let's see here. So here it is. Oh, we're gonna get rid of the X-Files music. Why do they always use that? Come on. All over France, people were seeing this. And it's bizarre, right? Look at that. Spinning around, going nuts. So I think I got one more link with a bunch of stuff on it too. Yeah, there it is again.
Ce truc. Maman, viens voir.
C'est quoi l'histoire?
Ben regarde là-haut.
Ah,
Ben je sais pas. C'est quoi ce truc?
putain, bordel.
Mais ça bouge.
Oh. Attends. Alors.
So yeah, really weird. The last frame here is also really weird because it kind of looks like it's on the ground there. All right, so I wouldn't usually do this, but I'm going to. We're going to come back to this French UFO event. We're going to move on, though, for now. On Thursday, future human narrative is whatever my note says. I need an assistant. Okay, so I've been following this future human, neo-human time travel narrative that's been getting popular recently. I'm going to post some clips from podcasts and interviews in this thread. All right, so if you're unfamiliar, basically the idea is that the people who visit the crafts or whatever, sometimes people will specifically talk about the Greys, are future humans coming back for whatever resource. There is a lot of like mythology about the Greys lacking emotion, and so like they're coming back to I don't fucking know, but so anyway, this narrative has been getting pushed quite a lot lately, and so I'm just gonna play some of this stuff from this thread.
The technology of time travel is something that Holden contributed technically. And basically what he told us is that this technology exists, that time travel is true. And if you think about it, and on one hand, that sounds incredible. But on the other hand, if ETs really exist, and if they have the ability to go to other planets and other galaxies, how the hell are they going to do it without time travel? They aren't. So if you believe that ETs are here, then you almost, by association, have to accept that time travel exists. And the technology, he shared a little bit of the science behind it. I can't say that I fully understand it all, but it does make sense. And so, boy, that opens up all kinds of interesting possibilities. I know there's some things I'd like to go back and do over again. I don't know if we'll get that opportunity, but apparently it exists. And this show, when you watch it, the technology that you see in the show.
Okay, so he talks about somebody named Holden. I've seen a couple other people also talk about this Holden character, and I haven't really dug too much into it, so I'm not totally certain about what's going on. But yeah, it's not the first time the name Holden has come up. Also, a quick note about the way he understands time travel is really interesting. He says there's certainly some things I'd like to go back and fix. Unless you were talking about specific events, like going back and like tapping your younger self on the shoulder saying no to that, you're not doing like a Days of Future Past thing where you're sending back your consciousness into your other head, your younger head. It's just, that's not really important, but it's interesting to see that somebody who is making these claims has what seems to be a pretty not impressive view on how time travel works. All right, so here we also have Ross Coulthart. Coulthart? Is it? I've never known because I always read his name. Anyway.
Certain things about the phenomenon that are quite disturbing. I mean, there are a lot of people privately claiming to me things about the implications of the phenomenon that go beyond, far beyond the whole notion of just, I mean, I wish it was as simple as extraterrestrials getting in their little spaceships and flying from Zeta Reticuli and coming to this planet. That's the easy explanation. The explanation that I've been exploring in recent months is more complex, and I've already spoken about this to some extent, so I will say it involves the notion of future human time travel. And look, it's only hypothetical. I'm not saying it's real, but if what I'm being told about that is true, then yeah, I would be somber too.
Why is that somber? Why is the fact or the...
So when he's talking about somber, he's talking about a quote that from Lou Elizondo, who said that once people do realize what's actually going on, that it'll be a very somber moment, and that has kind of caught some people off guard. They're not sure how to take that. Whatever happens is going to be a moment for you. Whatever you believe, whatever you think is going on, it's going to be a moment for you to really have to reflect on your worldview, whether or not it's fucking aliens or the military or future humans like this narrative is presenting. Most people are going to be wrong. There's always going to be a couple of outliers who fucking nail it. Most of us are going to be wrong. And so it will be a very somber moment. And for the human race, because most people still don't want to believe in this sort of thing. Most people still will ask you, do you believe in UFOs? Which is a ridiculous question. But when they are confronted with whatever is responsible for this phenomenon, not only will their worldview have to shift, it will be fucking shattered. People will still have to go to work and pay rent and all that stupid shit, but your conception of the world around you will be entirely different, and it will be a moment to reflect. It will be a somber moment. This is a really interesting quote too from Ross. There is a real mood of apocalypse officially. Listen, I've been saying for a little while that this feels like the end. And we're still gonna have to fucking keep paying rent. I don't have any real reason to think that, but in conversation with friends, I always say that 2025 is probably at the beginning of the end, and we'll be done by 2030. We'll see. I don't know. That's not like a prediction. I don't have anything to base that on, but it does officially have a real mood of apocalypse. I agree. There is a fear that to make this public is to change a timeline, an effort by a future civilization to stop a catastrophe. Well, man, they could have stopped a few more. So here's some more tweets regarding Holden, who also says, aka Indrid Cold. If you follow the fucking Indrid Cold lore, it's bananas. Yeah, I'm aware of like the actual reported things, and I know the Indrid Cold story well, but I also know that like there is that girl who claims Indrid Cold was a family friend, and she met his family, and that Indrid actually died about 10 years ago, 15 years ago. But now apparently this Holden fellow is Indrid Cold. So let's just read quickly through these Project Unity tweets, which I don't know anything about Project Unity. This is new to me, so if you do, let me know. I'll probably look it up eventually. But since his name has now been revealed by Scott Walter, I can confirm that I've been in contact with the man by the name of Holden, aka Indrid Cold, for a little over a year now. We have had extensive comms. He reached out to me, and we continue to be in communication. He told me that he was a GG-14 intelligence officer operating on behalf of NSA and NASIC. He told me he has since been allocated to the UAPTF, and I know for a fact that he is connected to the U.S. intelligence channels. I can't speak for Ross in regards to what his sources are saying, but I did put Ross in contact with Holden. What is most interesting is that there are other sources emerging with very similar statements to Holden's, which is a disturbing thing if I'm being honest. Holden is far from the only IC source making such claims. Both Ross and Frank Milburn have other IC sources giving similar statements, so it's either a network disinformation tactic, possible, or a narrative that certain IC members are familiar with and believe to be true. As for Ross, you did put him in contact with him, although he has other sources similar to, precisely as does Frank. I don't know. Sure, maybe there is somebody named Holden that these folks are talking to. I don't think it's fucking Injured Cold though. It seems kind of out of nowhere. So we're not gonna read through all this stuff. It is linked in the show description if you want to check it out. Moving on. My note is stolen from the article because it's a beautiful headline. We're talking about Nut November. So, mystery object floated by the ISS. Looked like a gnarled knob. SpaceX successfully launched another capsule for astronauts to the International Space Station on Thursday evening. While the mission went smoothly, the crew did report something strange, a mysterious object floating past their craft as they approached the station. We saw an object that looked like a gnarled knob. A horrible band name. Although it's difficult to tell with distance in our centerline camera view from left to lower right from our view. Crew Dragon's pilot Tom Marshburn told SpaceX Mission Control it is not visible anymore. It could have been a small nut, he added.
Just for your information, we saw an object look like a gnarled knob, although difficult to tell with distance in our centerline camera view from upper left to lower right from our view. Is not visible anymore.
And copy that, Tom. You saw a gnarled knob in your centerline view going from the upper left to the lower right. Is that a good readback?
A good readback. It could have been a small nut. It's hard to tell the distance from the camera. Just want to let you know we saw that pass by.
Okay, so it was most likely space junk. He says could have been a small nut. I assume they're talking about like a bolt and nut like an acorn. But he does say that it's hard to tell the distance on the camera. So who knows? Nut November, everybody. On Friday. Ooh, post was deleted. So, as you may know, if you've been following this channel for any length of time, I occasionally like to look over Mars photos for, random shit. Sometimes I find random shit that's really bizarre. And then sometimes I see
Hello,
shit
everyone.
like this.
This is Scott C. Waring of UFOsightingsdaily.com. I want to report to you alien base on Mars. It's been reported before, but I kind of stumbled upon it when I was going through some Gigapan photos, and it's pretty awesome. I'll drop in the link to you, and let's zoom in on this. It's right here. Now, you've seen this before. You have somebody else reported it long ago, but it's pretty awesome. The photo's still up. It's still right here. You can see the black windows right here all the way around. Kind of cool. Let's zoom out. You can see the surroundings. You can still see the alien base right there. And kind of cool. Here's the full photo right here. I was just going up and down through the photo and kind of stumbled upon it by accident and said, hey, I've seen that before. Someone reported that. It's kind of awesome. That's report still there, and that it's in this photo too. So just thought I'd show that to you and look a little bit around the photo, see what else we see in here. There's a lot of little things in here, kind of exciting, a little strange. And let's go down. Wait, what's that right there? Nope, nothing. Let's go down to where the image is, and just looking at a face right here. Eye, ear, mouth, back of the head.
So there is a lot of stuff there. I did look through the photo. It's over on GigaPan. It was put together by Neville Thompson, who does great work over there. There is certainly some weird shit in there. I don't know what this thing was. That guy. No idea what that is. It does look bizarre. There's a couple of other notes here about it. Just looking at this picture. First off, there's a nice squared off thing. There's what looks like a fucking I-beam.
And let's zoom in on this. It's right here.
And then we got this strange thing there. Lots of sharp angles on this guy. Very strange. There's also something that looks like it may be brushed out there. Listen, I'm not saying anything's there. I just love looking through these photos looking for shit. Pareidolia is a real bitch, and we're going to see that in a minute here because I've got some stuff for you. All right. On Saturday, over in St. Albans in England, not Vermont, we have a triangle sighting. We don't get too many triangle videos, and really it's just the lights you see here, but triangular nonetheless. And at first, because of the tree, it looks like it's blinking, and I was like, plane. But once it escapes that tree, the lights, however, I'm not sold entirely on a triangle craft thing. The lights do seem to slightly be shifting away, like drifting a little bit, not necessarily sturdy. Moving slowly. Just like on SpaceX thing, the distance is a little difficult to tell. This could be 3 Chinese lanterns. They do seem to be flickering. Who knows? All right. Speaking of pareidolia, this video popped up yesterday. Now, I'm certain you see that person there, right? I see it. Seems pretty fucking clear to me. And it's eerie looking, for sure. But it's just the angle. It's such a good example of pareidolia. I love it so much. Now, speaking of hoaxes, we're going back to France because shit, I need to translate this. Listen, Remy Gaillard, he hoaxed it. The whole thing. Let's see. Okay, I'm just going to try to translate this page. Can I just do the website? What the shit? Okay, that didn't work. Thrilling television. All right, so I can't read French, but Remy Gaillard, who is apparently a known hoaxer, not necessarily just UFO, but just a pranky sort of human being, hoaxed the whole fucking thing. It was the most exciting thing to happen this entire week, and it was horseshit. We're stuck in between these two bookends that are like, on one hand we have genuine fucking world-changing incredible things happening that we can't know about. And on the other hand, we have people who just want to make the situation muddier and make everything worse. And I'm constantly in the middle, just screaming and shaking my head. Hi. And that was it. That's it for the week. The weird week. Let's get rid of old Chrome and let's do the grow up. Beautiful. So, once again, thanks for hanging out with me. I'm sorry I'm not doing too well today. I'm like I said, I'm pretty sick. It's not COVID, I promise you. Next week, I'll be far more lively, and I'll be maybe better prepared. Who knows? I will most likely be funnier. But yeah, if you want, I don't know. If you want, I will put together that Reddit list for you. Doesn't no skin off my ass, as my grandfather would say. He didn't say that. I don't even. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. Like, share, comment, sub, bell, all that stuff. Tell your mom, tell your friends, and I will see you next time. I'm gonna go to bed and eat a bunch of garbage food and watch TV, and hopefully I feel better in the morning. Take care, folks. Oh, if you want to help the show, also, it'd be greatly, greatly appreciated. I hate my job. Not this, my day job. Goodbye.